Hi guys. I have here with me, I have Michelle and Alice who are interning with us, and they will be helping me today in deciphering what this 7-month transit is going to mean for all the rising and moon signs, because Mars just entered Taurus in sidereal Vedic astrology, and it's going to be there for a really long time. And just to put this into perspective, Mars is usually only in a sign for about 50 days. So the fact that it's going to be in the sign of Taurus for about 7 months, and then it's going to go retrograde in that same sign, and we're going to be experiencing this energy all the way until February of 2023. That is very significant. And although this is going to impact really all of us, all of our lives, the people who are going to feel it in the most extremes will be Aries rising, Taurus risings, Scorpio risings, and Libra risings and moon, because this will be happening in your 1-7 axis. However, every single sign is going to feel the impact of Mars being the planet of action, being the planet of exertion, the planet of how we expend our energy, how we take action in the world around us, how we walk, how we walk, how we talk, how we move, our charm, everything. All of that deals with Mars. Mars also deals with aggression. It also deals with the endings because it's such a violent planet. So we're going to be seeing a lot of changes coming with this Mars in Taurus. And then the sign of Taurus being ruled by Venus adds like its own flair of indulgence to this Mars transit. So Taurus, being the natural ruler of the second house, is going to bring all of us a big shift into trying to find and trying to take action into how we view security in the world around us, and how we create security for ourselves and our lives and our family and our financial stability and our financial security. So this is going to be big changes in our structure of finances and just security and stability in general. Do you girls want to add something? Michelle, you were telling me earlier about how this transit you thought was going to shift the financial institutions.
Yeah, so I think yeah, for everybody, if anyone's maybe into like the stock market or anything like that, I definitely think it could cause some unexpected fluctuations in that. And then for, people for their personal life, maybe there could be some sort of shakeup with their feeling of stability for their home life or their family life. So I do see that happening. And then it also could relate to their relationships, because it is Venus that's playing a part in this. So there could be some sort of unexpected outbursts in relationships, or relationships, meaning like their partners, or in their friendships, anything relating to like some sort of relationships. So yeah, that I do see that stuff happening too, possibly.
Yes, that's a possibility.
Yeah.
Anything else you guys want to add to it before we get to all the risings and moons? We're good? Yes. All right, so then we'll start with the Aries and Libra signs. One sign. Okay, so for Aries risings, your ruler, Aries risings and moons, your natural ruler of your very first house of self, whether it's from your moon or your rising sign, is Mars. And it's going to be, and has entered your second house of finances, of security, stability. So Mars is asking you to take action to, or transform in some respect, the way that you take action in your finances, the way that you take action in your relationships, the way that you take action with your family. So it is a time where you're going to be reevaluating or transforming the way that you expend your finances, the way that you calculate your finances, everything around your sense of security and your sense of stability. as well as your senses, wanting to indulge in this lifetime, wanting to indulge in your relationships. All of that is being activated. Maybe while Mars was in your first house, something could have transpired in your relationships. And now as Mars enters your second house, you are given the drive to sort of restabilize yourself in some way. If you went through a breakup while Mars was in your first house for the past 2 months, 3 months, around there, maybe now as Mars enters your second house, you're beginning to learn and take action on how to navigate your structure of stability because of this transformation that you just went into. So you're learning how to restabilize yourself, how to find security within yourself. And these 7 months will be all about a transformation in regards to your sense of stability. I would be careful with your finances. Be careful that you're not like indulging in too much like foods that have like too many like spicy foods, because second house is like eating like actual food. And be careful with your speech towards others, especially in your relationships and with your family members, because Mars can tend to push you towards being a little bit aggressive in this area. So as long as you watch those things, now it's a time where you're restabilizing yourself and taking action towards finding security for yourself. What do you guys think about Mars entering their second house of security for Aries risings? And by the way, these girls are amazing. They just started learning more with me, at least about Vedic astrology, and they're learning so quickly. So I'm putting them on the spot, but they are just so amazing. I'm in shock. Yes. So we were talking about earlier about what's the second house? The second house tends to be the house of endings. Mars entering this area for Aries rising could mean what?
There could be some sort of loss in the source of income.
Yeah, there could be because of a change, right? Of a transformation that the Aries rising person can be experiencing. So yeah, overall, it's going to be a transformative transit for Aries rising. Just be careful in the areas of your finances, with your family, your speech, and spending too much money on material things, and it'll be fine. All right, on to the next sign, which is Libra. So for Libra risings, you have currently Mars in your 8th house, which is also ruling your 7th house. So these next 7 months are going to be all about relationships for you. Same with Aries rising, but in a different way for the Libra risings. So in the past 3 months, while Mars was in your 7th house, a lot of things were revealed in your partnership. Some of you could have gone through breakups. Others could have met someone, taken the next steps in your relationships. Just sudden things could have unraveled within the months of June, July, beginning of August. Now, as Mars enters your 8th house, there's going to be an element of transformation to your relationships. This transit is all about your relationships, and it's all about your sense of security in your relationships. So Mars in the 8th house can bring you some kind of, if you went through a breakup, right? Or if and it could be a breakup of any kind, a breakup in business, a breakup in relationships, a breakup in friendships. If you went through that, now as Mars has entered your 8th house, you're now healing from that transformation, and you're going through a kind of like a metamorphosis stage where you're becoming stronger, and you're kind of like healing those traumas because you have the drive to now take action towards it. You have the drive to go, 100 miles per hour in your healing and really get to the bottom of things. Secrets that maybe didn't get revealed before could get revealed now regarding a relationship, regarding your security in a relationship. So some people I saw on TikTok today, like, of course, they have these all the time on TikTok, but there was like this one guy that was in Nashville, and then the girlfriend was he was like telling this girl to leave home with him, and then later she found out that his name was Steve. that he had a wife the whole time. So the girl put him on blast on TikTok.
Oh, I saw that.
You saw that one?
I saw that. Yeah.
It was like, Steve, you're put a picture of him too. If you were in Nashville, Steve's wife and everybody. So those are the types of secrets that can now come to the surface. I 100% guarantee you that that person had either a rising in Libra or a rising in Aries. So whatever difficulty in relationships you went through while Mars was in your 7th house, now it's coming to the surface. The secrets are now coming to the surface while Mars entered your 8th house. But on the other end, for these next 7 months, some of you can, if your relationship was going well, if you met someone new and the relationship had started to blossom, you guys can now take the next step. Some of you could have gotten engaged over the summer, and others might in the next 7 months get married. Well, Mars is in the 8th house. Just be careful, like with your in-laws, because there could be some kind of like verbal exchange with your in-laws, or there could be some difficulty for those of you who are married with your in-laws that is bringing like a strain to the relationship. Also, it could be the case that for some of you, you might you have to be careful in what you're doing, because there could be some kind of sudden accident, but also there could be some kind of sudden gain that comes into your life, and also a sudden loss. So be careful if you're investing too much of your money. Be careful with that. Don't try not to invest too much of it. It's funny because actually, as I'm talking about this, one of my little sisters has she has Kritika moon, one of them. The other one has a Ashwini moon. And she was telling me today, we were texting, that one of her friends is wanting her to invest in crypto. So that's how that might be playing out for Libra and Aries risings and moons, where you might be tempted to invest. Just watch how you invest, because Mars can make you want to be action oriented in these things. And also, indulging too much of your time in secrets or in the darker parts of life can be something you feel called to do now. So just be careful with accidents, be careful with your speech with your in-laws. Some of you are healing. It's a good time for those of you who are healing. It's a really good time to get into therapy, because it will be very beneficial for you. If some of you are finding your sense of stability, others are taking the next steps in their relationship. So, it's not all negative. So yeah, this is a really long transit, and a lot is going to unfold within the next 7 months. Next signs, which are Taurus and Scorpio. Okay, so Taurus risings and moons. So this Mars is going to be placed in your very first house of self. Mars for you rules your relationships, and it rules your mental health, your inner mind, your dream world, everything that is unconscious for you. So Mars coming into your first house, it can be the case. And now during these next 7 months, because the 7-month transit, Mars in the first house can give you a lot of energy. Like, you have a lot of energy to get things done, because Mars for the past 3 months was in your 12th house, and maybe you were a little bit more isolated, introverted, sorting out things in your mind. And so you weren't out in the world around you. You were just like very isolated. As Mars moved into your first house, now you have this drive, and you have this power to take action in the world around you. You're wanting to be seen more. You're wanting to go out more. Maybe you were struggling with your routine or your health and wellness, and now you're taking action towards it. You knew you had to take action before, but now it's when you're actually taking that action, because you have that Mars in the first house. You do have to be careful with your being too aggressive to the point of injury, taking too much action to the point. It's funny because I have my moon is in Taurus, and this weekend I had not gone out in forever. I went out and I injured my knee. I fell, and like, it's super injured. And it was the day that Mars entered Taurus. So you have to be careful in how you're taking action in the world, because you have it's almost like too much energy, and if it's not directed properly, it can it can cause some kind of injury. Your relationships are also being activated, Mars being the ruler of your seventh house. So this transit, maybe the past few months, some of you could have gone through or thought about a breakup, or you were contemplating on taking action towards an ending, or taking action towards dating, or meeting someone. Now as Mars goes into your first house, you are actually taking that action, versus before you were just thinking about it. Now you actually have the energy and the drive for the next 7 months to put yourself out there, to meet someone. If you wanted to, if you felt it was necessary to end things, now you're going to have the drive to make that happen. You're going to have the drive for those endings to occur. So it is a time of transformation at the same time, but that transformation is going to be very much geared towards your sense of self, towards your daily routine, towards the energy that you expend into the world around you, and towards your relationships. The only caution that I would say is try not to be too aggressive, too impatient, especially at work, especially in your relationships, because you can get a little bit impatient with other people to the point of like being a little bit aggressive. So just be careful with that. Other than that, it's a really good transit for having a lot of energy. I know some people don't like, some astrologers might say that when you have Mars in the first house, it can be dangerous. It could be dangerous. You could put yourself in dangerous situations, but you're also taking so much action. So use this to your advantage, because you're going to have the drive and the ability to really get out there into the world and really get things done. Right. Anything else that you girls want to add to that?
No, just but be cautious. Yeah, you'll definitely use that energy, right? You're supposed to, but there's a yin and yang to everything. So definitely exert that energy while you have it, right? But yeah, just be careful because of that 12th house there. It's possible it could result in injury or things like that. But if you're aware of it, right, then I think you'll be fine. So
yeah, have awareness.
yeah.
All righty, off to the next sign, Scorpio. Okay, so for Scorpio risings and moons, so you will have the Mars 7-month transit in your 7th house of relationships. Actually, Mars rules your first house and your 6th house. So this is an energy that you're familiar with. This is an energy that you actually enjoy, because it's the ruler of your sense of self, who you are. So you're very familiar with this needing to take action type of energy, and this intensity of Mars going into your 7th house of relationships can be difficult, and it can also be good. Could also be transformative and positive. So 7th house Mars is allowing you to take action towards any type of relationship, whether that's business, romantic, friendships, any kind of relationship that you have with the outside world. Now it's a good time of you taking action, because the past few months you were thinking about whether you had to change jobs. Some of you could have left an old job. Some of you could have started a new job, thought about a new job, or could have been thinking about working on your health, making your health stronger. And now with Mars in your 7th house, you're taking all the actions, all the steps in your day-to-day life to make that happen. So your health, now you're taking action to improve your health, get stronger. You're taking action towards your job. Maybe if you started a new job, now you're actually in the job and, doing your day-to-day stuff there. And you are also, some of you, if you started a new relationship, or if you wanted to start a new relationship, now you're actually taking action towards it. If there was a relationship that maybe you were thinking about ending, now you can be taking the steps to end it. So there's a lot of action that's coming up for you as it pertains to what you do on a daily basis and your relationships. That's very important for you. Venus, the ruler of the sign of Taurus, is also ruling your 12th house. So a relationship, or wanting to be in a relationship, is something that you could be thinking about a lot, or a past relationship even. K2 being in your 12th house. Now you can be either doing the work to take action towards that relationship, or towards ending a relationship. If you're in a relationship that's not working in the next 7 months, it could be the time when you end it. If you're in a relationship that is working, and you want to take to the next steps, now it's a time that you might take the action towards that. Also, your partner could be a little bit more aggressive towards you. Just try not to be too controlling towards your partner. Try not to be too aggressive towards your partner, because you already are ruled by Mars. So because this energy is so attractive to you, you can be a little bit controlling, a little bit aggressive, a little bit impulsive within your relationships. Or your partner can be a little bit more difficult as well. It can be a little bit more vocal at this time, and it might not. So if there was bickering, the bickering can increase now. If there was good, the goodness can increase now. So whatever it is that was happening before, it's amplifying. But if you wanted to fix like a relationship that was broken, you can also have the energy now to do that. All this is telling us is that you have a lot of energy right now to take the necessary steps in your day-to-day life to do something about your relationships and how you relate to them. So yeah, this is a very important transit for Scorpio risings and the world around them, their relationships, their health, and their work life. A lot of changes in that area. Off to the next sign, which is Gemini and Sagittarius. So for Gemini risings and moons, you currently have Mars in the 12th house and is going to be there for the next 7 months. So this is a little bit, its transit can be a little bit difficult and also good at the same time, depending how you view it. So you're going to want to, for the past 3 months, you could have been almost as if spending a lot of time with friendships. Maybe you could have gone through some kind of breakup in the past 3 months, or thought about a breakup in the past 3 months. And so you were kind of going towards your friendships to help you with that, and working on something that improves you and brings you gains away from relationships. So now Mars entering your 12th house can mean that you're taking action towards you isolating yourself, but this could be because you could also possibly be taking on too much spending, or taking on too much expenses. So you need to watch out for that. And also hidden enemies could come to the surface right now for you. So that's something to keep in mind. At the same time, Mars is in the 12th house, is going to bring to light a lot of and help you heal a lot of unhealed wounds that you could have from past relationships, from the past. A past relationship can also come into your life, or just even someone from your past can show up. Like what I've seen is friends from the past, like friends from high school will show up in your day-to-day life. For Gemini risings and moons, people that you haven't seen in years will just show up, and you're like, huh, I haven't seen you in forever. That could happen. And as a result, you could be either indulging in the relationship, taking action in the relationships, or wanting to isolate yourself from the world, wanting to take action towards healing your inner self. But it's almost as if this action is too aggressive, or it's almost as if this action is also bringing an element of pain towards you. Because ultimately, Mars is not an easy planet. You need to be careful driving in your day-to-day life. Be careful with work. Don't be too aggressive at work. Don't be too aggressive with your coworkers. Be careful with like indulging too much in bed pleasures. Or you can even, Michelle was saying, taking trips, or thinking about planning trips, taking action towards going abroad. For some of you, that should be fun. Your creativity is also getting improved with this Mars in the 12th house. So maybe you're unlocking more of like your creative side, because you're isolating, so you're unlocking all of this creativity within you that later on in the next year you will put to work, put towards yourself, like put to action once Mars enters your first house. Anything else you guys want to add? No? All right. So off to Sagittarius risings and moons. For Sagittarius rising and moon, you currently have Mars in your 6th house. and it's going to be there for the next 7 months. So at this time, what's happening is that for the past 3 months, while Mars was in your 5th house, maybe you were getting into a relationship, maybe you met someone new, or maybe you were just taking the steps to take the next level in a relationship that you're in. As a result, maybe you could have been ending friendships. There could have been a change to your friendships, and you could have been isolating with this partner that you could have met, or maybe you started getting more serious with. For some of you, others could also have been going through some kind of difficulty in their relationships, where there could have been a breakup or thought about a breakup, or some things, you've started to realize some things about your relationship that you feel were kind of making you not want to be in the relationship to some extent, whether that was a breakup or not. But there were some changes in your relationships for all of Sagittarius risings. Or even some of you could have started a business, or could have been thinking about starting a new business. Now, as Mars moved into your 6th house, you're sort of like having the drive to take the necessary actions in your day-to-day life to make this happen, whether it's to make the relationship happen, or even some of you could have conceived or gotten pregnant the past few months, or even delivered a baby the past few months. And now you're sort of bringing in that routine of seeing this baby in your everyday life, adjusting to being a mother or father, or adjusting to having a relationship in your everyday life, taking action towards that relationship in your everyday life. Or for those of you who went through a breakup, you're getting used to not having anyone in your everyday life. So it's always, it's an adjustment to your everyday life that now you're having the drive and the energy to actually experience and actually adjust to. So being that Mars is only in a sign for about 50 days, this 7-month transit is really helping you, a lot of you, in healing and getting back to a healthy routine and a healthy everyday life, or integrating into this relationship in your everyday life, or baby, or new job, new career. But yeah, it's giving you a lot of drive in your everyday life. And with your friendships, you could have been ending some friendships, or you can end some friendships, as well as relationships. So we're off to the next sign, which is Cancer and Capricorn. Okay, so for Cancer risings and moon, Cancers and Capricorns, you're going through a lot, but I will say that just looking at Mars, for the past 3 months, you had Mars in the 10th house of career. So you've been shifting something about your reputation, how you want to be seen in your career. There was something about how you want to be perceived by others that you could have changed the past 3 months. There could have been a change of job, even gotten a new career, completely shifted your career path, or at least gotten some kind of ideas to what it is that you want to do. Now, as Mars moves into your 11th house, and it will be there for about 7 months, you're going to be seeing those gains from the hard work that you experienced before. Either you get a call back from all those interviews you went to, or it could be that you now get some results or some manifestations from all the work that you did. You get recognized at work. So it's going to be a lot of energy that's being exerted in the sense of receiving the recognition, receiving the gains from the past few months, however that plays out for you. Or on the other hand, it could be that you were thinking about switching careers, and now you're actually going to take the action towards it. You could have also, your home life is also being impacted by this. So it could be the case that for the past 3 months, you were wanting to move or having to move because of a career, or because you want to be perceived differently. And now as Mars enters this area for 7 months, that you're actually going to be able to move homes, or you're actually going to be able to take the action to find a different living situation. Just be careful with aggression in romantic relationships. Be careful of how you speak to your partner, like if it's not too aggressive. Even in your friendships, be careful with arguments in friendships, as well as at home. Watch, try not to be too aggressive with the people around you when you're home. maybe even your mother. You could be picking fights with your mother, with your partner. Just keep this in the back of your mind that you have that Mars, so you're very impatient and you're very impulsive. But you do also have a lot of drive, and if you work in social media, now it's a really good time to get recognized, or in technology in general. All right, off to the next sign, which is Capricorn. Okay, so for Capricorn risings and moons, for the past few months, you had Mars in your fourth house of home, and now it just entered your fifth for the next 7-month transit. So for the past 3 months, there was something about your home life that you were kind of like rearranging, as well as your career life. There was something around that you were kind of putting the ducks into place, or wanting to spend more time at home. There was something about your home life that was just kind of pulling you in. Some of you could have also even thought about moving, or started the process of moving, restructuring your home life, restructuring your happiness. So now Mars entered your fifth house. So now you're wanting to be more social, wanting to be more outgoing, wanting to spend more time with friends, wanting to learn more, wanting to have more pleasure in your life. So this can come in the sense of, if you're single, maybe now you want to date. Now you want to date people. Now you want to go out on dates, have fun, hook up even. For some of you, this can play in the sense where you want to go on dates with your partner. You want to, have fun with your partner, go to clubs, because before maybe you guys were spending too much time home, doing things at home. Now you're wanting to go out there. You can also be learning something new with your partner, being more romantic with your partner. Just be careful you're not a little bit too aggressive in your action, and you're not too impulsive and imposing onto others. Also, be careful you don't indulge, because in the sign of Taurus, it tends to gear you towards indulging in your senses. So be careful you don't indulge too much in it. You can also want to like invest to some extent, or create something. This creation can come in the sense of pregnancies, or creating, or wanting to literally create something with your hands, or create something like in your business, in your career, just creation in general. But it is a good time to take action towards love. If you're single, it's a good time to meet someone. If you are, or even in your career, it's a good time to create something within your career, within your job. Friends can also play a role here. Friends can maybe introduce you to someone, or even you meet them through technology, like dating apps at this time. You can meet someone like that. Anything else you girls want to add? I would just say, like, if you're wanting to like gamble, because you can be inclined to take action towards gambling, just be careful with that. If you're wanting to invest, be careful with the investments. But other than that, it's a really good energy, especially because right now you're going through a difficult period with Saturn in your first house. So this can be a little bit easier from the strain and difficulties that you were experiencing before. Okay, off to the next sign, which is Leo and Aquarius. For Leo risings and moons, you had Mars in your 9th house, and it just entered your 10th house, and it'll be there for the next 7 months. So for the past few months, you could have been wanting to get deeper into learning something, wanting to get deeper into your spirituality to some extent, into your higher learning. Maybe you were studying something, learning more about the topic, getting more rich information about it. And now you're actually implementing whatever it was that you learned the past few months. You're actually putting an implementation. If you graduated, now you could be getting a job in that field. If you were learning a trade within your career, now you're actually taking the action to implement it in your career. A lot of action is going on in your career. So this is a really good sign. This is a really good placement for Mars, especially because the 10th house is not just your career, your legacy, etc. It's the highest point in the sky. It's the 12 o'clock sun. It's how others perceive you. So you having Mars in the 10th house is giving you a lot of energy to like get things done, as it pertains to your own career, legacy, but also get things done in your entire life that's going to benefit you in some way and in your future to some extent, and in your wealth and all of those things. But this is a really good placement, giving you a lot of energy. Maybe you're wanting to communicate more also with your siblings. Maybe you're wanting to take action towards communicating more in your career, taking action towards a hobby that you could have started the past few months, or communicating about that hobby, or like maybe even your business. If you have a business, maybe you're expanding it more now, or having the drive to actually take action towards expanding it, versus before you were learning about how to do it or learning about what you needed to do to take that action. Now you're actually given that opportunity for 7 months to have the drive and have the means to take action in your life. So this is a really beautiful placement for Leo risings. I love the placement of Mars in the 10th house. You have a lot of energy right now, so do not waste it. This doesn't happen very often. But yeah, it's a really good transit. Now off to Aquarius, risings and moons. Off to Aquarius. So for Aquarius risings and moons, you had the transit of Mars for the past 3 months with your North Node in the 3rd house. And now Mars just entered your 4th house, where it will be there for 7 months. And so this means that for the past few months, you were kind of like, you could have worked on your business if you have your own business, or you could have been changing the way that you do business, creating a brand new business, even like changing the way that you communicate with others. You could have gotten closer to your siblings, even empowered yourself to take action towards the things that you love. Now, Mars just entered your 4th house. So while you did all of that, you took so much action the past 3 months, now you're bringing that energy back inwardly, and you're sort of now reflecting and taking action towards your emotions, and really settling down, because you were taking so much action, you were outward for so long, that now you're kind of like relaxing and finding ways to restabilize and bring things home, bring things more inward, more protection, more security, more family time. Maybe you're going to be spending more time with your mom. You could also get into arguments with a family member, so just watch for that. Watch your speech in your home life. If you were trying before or taking action towards moving, now is a time when you actually do move in the next 7 months, or when you find a place to move because you had been thinking about it or working towards it the past few months. Now you actually move. Also, your career, maybe you were taking a lot of action in your career life for the past few months, changing a career, starting a new business, doing more business, and now you're sort of like detaching from that a little bit, because you're wanting for the next few months to relax, or to be home more, or to just feel yourself more internally, if that makes sense. Anything else that you girls see? Some of you can also be traveling, right? 9th house, or wanting to travel to a foreign land, or wanting to do business with foreigners. If you do business with foreigners, it's actually going to be very beneficial for you. So if your business deals with, I don't know, some kind of exchange where you have to deal with people who are foreigners, that's going to bring you a lot of good results. So Mars is also activating your house of wishes. So there could be some kind of wish around your home life, or wish around your communication that can be fulfilled now. So that's really good. And I think overall this transit is good. You just have to be careful at home that you're not too impulsive, that you're not too aggressive, that you're not too taking too much action where others are being affected, or you're hurting other people's feelings. Just watch out for that. Other than that, it's not a bad placement, especially if you want to move. This is the best placement for those of you who are really exerting all their energy on trying to move homes or move places, or even sell or buy a home. Just make sure you do it before October 30th, because once Mars goes retrograde, it's not a good time to sign any documents or sell anything. Some of you might also be buying like a car, a new vehicle, or even like selling your vehicle. It's a good time for that. You were thinking about it before, now you can take action towards it. Just make sure it's before the 31st or the 30th of October. Alrighty, off to the next sign, which is Virgo and Pisces. So for Virgo risings and moons, you guys have currently Mars just entered your 9th house, and it will be there for 7 months. So that's quite a bit of a transit. And for the past 3 months, you had Mars in your 8th house, which is a little bit difficult because some of you could have been going through some kind of transformation, some kind of secrets, or something could have come to the surface where you were forced to transform in some sense. And you were taking a lot of action towards really healing or towards going through this transformation that was not easy, that really destabilized not only your finances, your sense of security, your whole entire life as a whole, but this could have also been relating to you taking action towards some kind of money that you were waiting for, that was going to somehow help you in some way in your sense of stability. Others could have gone through a relationship. Some of you could have even gotten married with that Jupiter in the 7th house, right? And then you went through that transformation. And now, as a result, you are sort of merging and working on your wishes and belief systems. Your beliefs have changed due to this transformation that you went through for the past 3 months. So now in the next 7 months, you're working on what you believe now. What is it that life looks like for you now that you have gone through this transformation? What is it that your life, what is the purpose of your life? What is the meaning of it? Maybe you guys are studying more. Some of you could be in school. And if you are, you're learning, you're taking more action, you're being seen by your professors, you're really getting into like this new belief of learning that you're experiencing. Some of you are getting more in touch with your spiritual side, learning new ways of, or new spiritual practices, and really taking that action to solidify it. Because unless we can learn about it, but unless we take the action towards it, it doesn't register. So you guys are really having that drive to take action towards your new beliefs, towards your spiritual nature. And this is all building upon this transformation that you were experiencing and that you experienced, that really shook up your sense of security, financially, family-wise, relationship-wise, however that looked like for you. But now you're kind of like settling, and your wishes can, even in the next 7 months, you can be taking action towards your wishes. Anything else? Did I miss anything that we talked about? Okay. Alrighty. So off to the next sign, which is Pisces. Okay, so for Pisces risings and moons, you currently have Mars just entered your 3rd house, and it's going to be there for the next 7 months, which is quite a bit of time. Previously, the past 3 months or so, you had Mars in your 2nd house. So you could have gone through some kind of deep transformation. Is that what you said, Halit? Was it a deep?
Yeah, something hit home really hard.
Yeah, something the past three months, something hit home really hard that made you have to realize and take inventory of your life and your sense of security, and what you need to change in order to find security within yourself and within your finances and within the world. This deep thing that happened triggered a transformation in your life. And now, because of this, you're sort of stepping into taking action. Your willpower you could have been feeling down, like, oh my gosh, this happened, blah, blah, blah. Now you're sort of feeling the drive to actually take action. Maybe because of this, now you're starting something new, you're learning something new, you're having to completely switch your belief systems, you're having to completely shift the way that you view the world around you, the way that you relate to the world around you, but at the same time, you have the energy and you have it for like 7 months. So it's like time is on your side. So take advantage of it type of thing, because this transformation is now leading you towards something new that's more related to what you like to do, your hobbies, you taking action and communicating within your within the things that you love doing, within the things that you or hobbies. You can even start a new business, you can even start a new hobby, you can even completely switch the way that you were believing before, and now you're taking action towards these new beliefs, these new wishes. And even like maybe a sibling can bring some kind of an element of communication towards you, or an element of teaching you something in some way. Or you can be a little bit impulsive towards a sibling, your neighbors, a friend. But it's definitely a really good placement for taking action in the world, especially after a chapter that was transformative. Not that that chapter is over because Rahu's still there, but it's like now you're taking the action to make something out of it, or to create something new, or to work on your willpower. So, and communication also is going to help you. Just make sure that when you communicate, you're not being too aggressive with others in what you're saying, right? Anything else I should add to this?
I think you said it all.
All right, so then here we are at the end of the 12 signs. I think next time we should start backwards, right? We should start with Pisces and end with Aries, so that we can switch it up. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. This is a really for Pisces, I would say be careful with your driving in your everyday life. Make sure you're not too impulsive driving, because Mars in the 3rd house can make you drive recklessly, and then could cause even more transformation to be had. So just be careful driving, watch, be vigilant. But regardless of it, it's a long transit. It's really going to help you in your confidence as well. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. Around the 30th of October, it'll go retrograde, which will have you revisit situations. But as time goes on, it improves for all the signs. It's going to improve. Alrighty, so I hope you enjoyed this. Bye.